detractors tried to make me into, this criminal. But everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew that. That was the story for all the years.
But you
until I got
court and never really.
So hi guys, how are you all doing today? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shyne of Lifestyle Glam. If this is your first time here with me, thank you so much for being here. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, you are awesomely, truly welcome. Right, so today we're going to be talking about Shyne. If you are a 90s babe, you would know about Shyne. Shyne's real name is Jamal Barrow, if I'm not wrong. His real name is Jamal Barrow. Yes. And in the 90s, and this was way back in Nigeria at the time, and I fell in love with his sound. I fell in love with his beat. Now, at the time, Jamal Barrow, also known as Shyne, was signed to P.Diddy's record label. In all honesty, up until he served time, until he came for Diddy's I think he was celebrating how many years in the industry or something, and he performed. I was like, yeah, where did this guy come from? And I now began to do a little bit of research, and it was in the course of my research that I stumbled upon a documentary that talked about something happening at a club, and he was convicted for what happened. Now, while in the documentary, it was never said that Shyne is innocent. I began to hear that from other outlets, that he maintained his innocence in all of it. He never ever anybody, and that it was P.Diddy who actually did the and this was directly from the victim's mouth. En gros, Shyne was deported back to Belize, where he came from, and was to step foot on U.S. soil. Today, Shyne is in politics, a politician in Belize, and he has, according to him, he has moved on, and this is his new life now. A music career that could have taken the world by storm was cut short in its prime. That said, today we stumbled upon an interview Shyne gave, and it says, Shyne says it opens wounds to hear them in the New York club shooting say that Diddy was the one. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy.
I am relieved that people are saying what the truth is, that I did not shoot those people. Detractors tried to make me into this criminal, but everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew that. That was the story for all the years.
But you
until I got
court and never really pointed the finger at.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that was a decision that I made as a young man, and I'm not going back on that. I'm not about to point the finger. No, I'm not going to get into that.
Well, others are doing it, sir.
I'm just saying that I maintained my innocence all this time. I said I was defending myself. I didn't get into who did what. But the victim is telling you who did what. And I understand that there are other witnesses.
Is she accurate, sir?
I'm not going to get into that. But it does open wounds, and it opens wounds when you hear the victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her. That is what is the most remarkable. Oh, you didn't see that?
I saw that.
Okay. And that was triggered by a lawsuit from a producer that produced on the Love album, who is making accusations, and in those accusations he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. And that is what stands out to me the most, because I done my best to put it behind me and to move forward. And so, but it certainly reopens the wounds that I've been saying this all along. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy. But my political enemies and movements were never removed. So there was never any forensic testing to say who it was. But the victims are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that. And so I am appreciative of whatever contributions Diddy has made to help the people of Belize.
And this is something he had maintained and he'd been maintaining for the longest time. And this comes in the wake of course, the sexual aggression and sexual assault allegations against Diddy and human trafficking and sex trafficking allegations against Diddy. And Shyne, in the interview, which I'm going to put up here, talks about how it has felt and how it feels for him to be in this situation, and how tragic and unfortunate it was, but he said it still hurts, and it's understandable because this is an incident that happened, questions and no answers, but you also know that you're innocent, and all you just want is for your name to be expunged totally from that, list as someone who is innocent, who is guilty. Now, I don't know if in the coming years that will happen. And why I say so is because we have all stayed past 4-5 months now in the wake of Diddy's allegations of human sexual abuse and whatnot. And till date, aside from the fact that they said Homeland Security to his house, nothing, zilch, has happened. And like I said in in the video when I talked about this, I said he's got some really heavy hitters behind him because, just like Jeffrey Epstein, heads most likely would roll, and we don't need those heads to roll, or they don't need those heads to roll. So that's how we're looking at it, and that's why I said what I said. So we are not even sure. I'm not even sure as it is if Diddy is even going to be, if ever he will be arrested or whatever, knowing fully well that, yes, his arrest would most likely bring about the vindication of Shyne. Okay? That said, I always say beware of bad friends, or rather our parents will always used to tell us then, beware of bad friends. In the same way, I will always recall that, even the Bible says, keep away from people who look to do evil or mischief, because they don't mean that is all they seek. And then usually when you find yourself in the company of individuals like that, the innocent bystanders are usually the fall guys. That's just how it is. And so when you see and understand that, there are people like this, and that it's important because, again, guilty by association, okay? The fact that you know this person, you're quite aware of what this person does, and you feel right by it, you feel okay with it, then you are guilty by association. And the law works that way, so to speak. So, I understand, Shyne's position in this, and I actually feel the way he feels in trying to, get his innocence out there, because I have been in that situation. I've been in that position before when I was in high school at the time, and the senior, because again I went to boarding school, boarding house mistress, for some reason, I don't know, she just decided that my name had to be on her lips, and she kept calling my name for something I didn't do, and for a situation I wasn't even there at all for. And I was suspended, but not just me, and a lot of people. And eventually, the truth came out. But again, no one was going to say anything because we knew what we were standing for. We knew what we stood for, And like someone said in the comment section, he said, this is the G code. So let's say we were practicing the G code as young as, when we were in high school at the time. Okay. And so this comes to light in the face of, and again, I am quite happy that Shyne is actually talking about this again, now as a politician, now as someone, as a father, as, this person, upstanding citizen that he is of Belize, and to be able to say, listen, I still feel hurt by this. And all that. And, this also dates back to, how it is in the hood. You don't, because if you tell tales, you're a rat. You can't be trusted. You're a rat. You don't tell tales. And it's like an honor thing, and that's it. And in his bid, and I think this is where the whole thing is murky. In the bid not to be the rat, because he didn't want to be the one to say this is what happened exactly. He said he did not know, I don't know anything, and he expected that, the law and the policemen and the investigators would have listened to the witnesses themselves rather than him, But unfortunately, again, he was at the place. He was there when it happened. Okay. So I don't know how the American system, works, but, somehow, somewhere or the other, he has been made to be this person that will take, that will bear the consequences of another's actions. And so which brings me back to the initial, what I said in the beginning. If and when you sense that something is not right with someone, when you sense that this someone's values does not align with yours. Now, I'm not saying that for Shyne, because again, this is a brother who was trying to sell music. Okay, he has a beautiful voice. He has a beautiful voice. He still has the same somber, lovely, alto that he's got. Beautiful. And I mean, this is this record label that signed him on. So, I'm not saying, record labels are hunters. Theirs is to seek for talent. Theirs is to look for talent because it's the talent that makes money for them. So, but when that, okay, you are not so implicated, of course, because at this time he had signed a contract and whatnot. When you're with somebody or you're in a place where you are not comfortable, get the hell out of that place. Do not be found guilty by association. The things that that the values that were not impacted in you as you were growing up, don't do it. Don't get yourself meleeed in it at all, because it always ends badly. It's just like, I remember it's just like, there's something, about the 419 thing. There's always something about most people who are very, 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 very in tune with that will tell you that because of whom they are, because of the fact that they are this kind of upright people who are not, who do not steal, who do not do such and such and such and such. If they found themselves where 419, where people who were committing financial fraud existed, that it doesn't work because there is someone who has a conscience. But usually when they leave, sometimes the fraudsters will be like, oh, you left when just, and it is always like that, because if you know that your conscience, that what you're doing is wrong, or whatever it is that is happening there is wrong, your conscience will always keep on telling you, you can't be here, don't do this. And as long as your conscience is berating you, that is the time you need to walk. It's just what it is. That's when you need to walk. Okay. For me personally, I'm so glad that Shyne is in this position that he is. I am also very happy that he has become a very respectable and responsible member of society. And I hope he writes a book about his time in America, because he spent 10 years. He did 10 years. I hope he's going to be able to write a book about everything that happened, and tell his story. I think that would be a more effective way, and tell his story. And on this note, guys, do not fail to like, do not fail to share, and do not fail to comment on my video. And have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you guys in my next. Bye.